All right, everybody. Today we're going to kind of conglomerate, maybe, combine everything that we've done so far. In the last few videos, we essentially built all these different sorts. So what we're going to do today is kind of put them all in one file so we can use them a little bit easier for the few projects we're going to have coming up. So what I need to do, there we go, get to my programs. All right, so we've got bubble sort, insertion sort, merge sort, quick sort, shell sort. Oh wait, it's, okay, I think it would be easier if I just do it this way. School, there we go. Data structures, programs, Python. All right, so bubble sort, insertion sort, merge, quick selection, shell. All right, so we've got our 3 to 4 kind of loop sorts. We have our 2 of the others, so I'm going to go ahead and open these up. Now, what I want to do is effectively just create a file where I can just make an object and put all these in that one thing. So I'm going to have all the sorts, and in fact there's a lot of crossover here with the timers and the fill and stuff like that, but I'm going to put all these sorts into one file. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to make a new one here. I'll just call it something along the lines of sorter. All right, I'll just call it sorter for now. All right, so what we're going to do is take everything we've done, put it over here. I'll start with bubble sort first. That should be the simplest one to adjust. There we go. I also want this to be an object, so if I need a little extra for that, let's see here. Should have a little example here. Okay. So we're not going to make this a box, we're just going to make it a sorter. So effectively I'm going to have something akin to this. So I'll just copy that over to make it simple. Probably should have our zoom up. There we go. All right, so I don't really need to give it anything per se. And I don't really need to set anything in this. I'm just going to print a little message making sure that I know it's working. Sorter created. And there we go. That's pretty much all I need for that. And all those functions, all the things that we've been putting together are going to go in here. So let's get rid of you. Bring back bubble sort. Now, I'm going to need to move my imports. So I'll go ahead and do that. There we go. I have my timer. I have my in timer. And then, of course, I have my fill and the actual bubble sort that we put together. I'll just copy all that. Come over here and paste it. Now, I'm going to have to adjust a few things, obviously. This is inside this class now, so all these need to be spaced over. And idle actually has a nice little feature here. I can highlight this and just hit tab, and it will tab over everything. So everything should be there. That's into the class, we'll move you up. And I'll make a little main here. Why there's like a huge gap of spaces there, I'm not sure. All right, let's just see if it crashes for whatever reason. Maybe my spacing didn't work, but yep, it has a bit of an issue. Oh, well, there's a couple of things I need to fix, but let me see. I think it's telling me an indentation issue. All right, pick that up, tab that over. I think that's fine. We've got you here, we've got you there. There, is that right? Run, let's see. Oh, now my issue's down here. Another indentation. Def main. Oh, I don't have anything in there, so it's complaining. Hang on a second. Print black. We'll have something in there. So the reason I was getting the error there is I have this function, but there's nothing inside of it, so it assumes that the next line of code that is runnable is supposed to be in it, I guess. It's not, but it assumes it is, since there's nothing actually in there. So I just want to make sure there's something there, otherwise it's going to complain. All right, well, it worked, and all my code is there. We do have to make some adjustments, though. So I'm going to go back to my bubble sort, and I've got an array and setup and all this stuff here. Now, if I just copy it over like that, it's not going to work because I have to make a few little adjustments. If I run, it's going to tell me, I believe, that I'm missing a parameter or something. Oh, it doesn't know what fill is. Let's turn on our line numbers here. All right, so fill. Oh, I haven't created the object yet, so in fact, sorter S. Or I should say, actually, that's a more Java way. S equals sorter, and this would be s.fill and s.bubblesort. s.startTimer. I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see. s.timerIn. Should have called that end timer if I wanted to be a little more consistent. But I'm going to run this now. It should give me, let's see, sorter not defined. Did you mean sorted? No, I did not. Oh, I forgot to change this name. All right, sorter. There we go. Now I will run it, and I'll still get an error because there's some things to fix. Printer not defined. Printer sorter created. Oh, there we go. Little mistake there. And now, there we go. This is the error I was looking for before I made all my myriad of mistakes. So sorter.fill takes 2 positional arguments, but 3 were given. Okay, so whenever you have a function inside like of an object or something, they need to have the little self in front of it. So we know it's kind of part of this thing here. So if I do this, add self to each of these functions, I should be able to work now. So, probably should make this a little smaller so we can kind of see. I'll just use 10, and we'll print it just to make sure that it's sorted. Let's see. Oh, still got a little bit of an error. s.startTime equals timer start. Name timer start is not defined. Let's see. This one here. Timer end, timer start. No, there is one there. S.start. Oh, whoops. I did that backwards. That's why. I'm in such a hurry to get everything situated here. S.timer start. But that's a good error to see. If I don't denote that it's part of that class, it won't know what it is. So I have to tell it it's the sorter's timer. So we'll run it, and it looks like it sorted the small array, and we got our bubble sort going. So that's it. We just had to bump everything over, and then make the little adjustments here. Now, the code itself is still the same as what we did in the previous file. You want to see the actual bubble sort here. We had timers, we had a fill to randomly fill numbers, we had the actual code for the bubble sort, and then we had a main little area to run our code in. Now we're doing the same thing here, except I have a class called sorter now. Got all my little functions I need, got the bubble sort, and then I just tell it to run the bubble sort in this case. Now if I want to put in some more, I'll close you out. And let's go to merge sort this time, not merge sort, insertion sort. So all of these are the same, the function, fill, the timers, insertion sort. I will just copy that over and we'll paste it. And the only thing I really need to add is the self. Now we have insertion sort in. So the first part is the longest because we had to adjust all the things. But from this point on, I simply just have to go to selection sort and grab the selection sort. Copy it. Paste it over. I think I messed up my little in class here now. There. Now, I do have to tab these over, which I didn't do. So I will hit this and hit tab, and I will hit this and hit tab. And there we go. Now they're inside this class. Tabs matter tremendously in Python. If this is not tabbed over, then it's not inside. If it's tabbed over, it's inside. If I move this back, it's not inside this. So we've got insertion sort, we've got selection sort right there. And if I wanted to test these just to make sure, insertion sort, I just make the change. And then we run. And if I did it correctly, it will sort my thing. It'll tell me the times and everything that I need to know. So now we just have shell sort and the other sorts to move over. So I'll just go through here and grab those real quick. Le shell sort. Here we go. Oh, must be my second version of that. Or first version. Let me grab the other one. Put together a little better. Here we go. And I just copy. Come over here and paste it over. Make sure it's all tabbed over once. Tab. And there we go. Now shell sorts in here. I can close this out pretty much. Now, that leaves merge and quick. And there's two things involved with merge and quick. Since it's a recursive function, I've got merge. And I've got, of course, merge sort. So I just copy those over. And of course, I have to add the selfs to anything I do here. So self, comma. Self, comma. Now I'll paste these. Tab that over. And again, we need the self for these. Need to refer to the sorter that I'm on, that this object is where this is coming from. So with both of those there, I can go ahead and move to the last one here. Well, actually, there's one more we're going to add. That's merge sort. Quick sort. We have partition. And of course, quick sort. So copy, paste, and tab. All right. Now we're going to use one more. Python, we're writing all these sorting algorithms here to learn how the sorting algorithms work so we can compare them. But there's always built-in functions into a programming language. It's always better to use the built-in functions. But in a class like data structures, in this particular class, we're learning how those function. Like if someone wants you to explain, well, how does that work? You can explain it because you built it. If you know how it works, when you need to modify, change, or know if that's what you can use for what you're doing, you'll have a better understanding of it. I mean, we could always just use the sort that's built in, and you should, but when you're learning it, you need to be able to program it and understand how it all functions underneath the hood. Once you know that, you could use the built-in one pretty much no problem. So I'm going to, this is called timsort. Now, Python's built-in sort is called timsort. It's a hybrid between merge and insertion sort. And actually, from what I've seen, it's faster than even the quick sort and merge sorts. So, end timsort. So all I have to do here is just array. Is it dot sort? Let me see here. If I can remember how this works. Python sort. There's sorted, and then there's sort. So, this dot sort, yes. Always helps to look things up sometimes. So it should just be dot sort. And of course I have to spell that correctly. Sort. So what this does is sorts it using timsort. So all this code is hidden behind this function here, which we could look it up if we wanted to. But so I'm going to come down here and we're going to fill our array, and I'm going to run timsort. Like so. We'll test and make sure it works. And we'll run a quick little test to see how it does. So, oh, I have some crashes because I forgot to add the self here. There we go. It is sorted. Didn't take any time at all. So, if we come down here and we increase this size, I am obviously not going to print all that on the screen. Let's go to 100,000. And I run. All right, well, next to no time at all. 1 million. Should give me like 2 whole seconds or something. Oh, not even 2 seconds, 0.2 seconds. I was off by a pretty good factor. We'll try 10 million. Now we're getting somewhere. All right, it sorted it, 2 seconds. Okay. Cakewalk, right? Now, merge sort and quick sort. I actually tried this on the computer at school, and it failed when it was at 10 million. So, let's see here. I'll just go with quick sort. Make sure it's what I called it. Okay. So I did 10 million. And when I did this on one of the older school computers, it did not finish. It actually crashed. And we'll see if I can't recreate that here, just in case you happen to see that error. Well, there we go. Of course, I'm missing my self here. Nobody said anything. Although this is a video, so no one's going to say anything, but there we go. Now we'll try it once more. We'll take a little peek. And I would play some Jeopardy music or something for you. Oh. S.quickshort. R-O. Yeah. It takes the start and the finish. So not just the array, but I need to know the start and then the length of the array, which is the end result, -1. So start and finish as well. This should do it. Nope, go away. And we run. And, oh, we still got a crash here. Let's see here. Partition is not defined. This is the fun part about data structures. You're going to mess something up somewhere. 211, huh? Well, let's see. Pi equals partition. Oh, I believe that's going to have to be self.partition. So I'm going to have to change that. And I believe this might be self.quicksort. Self.quicksort. And I'll just peek up here at merge sort and see. I may have to do the same thing there. Self. Okay. Because I'm calling a function, I have to tell it it's this object's function that we're looking at. So now we'll run it one last time here. I think we are filling 10 million numbers right now. Now we're running, well, it's not TimSort actually. All right, here's the error. Now you'll see a lot of things popped up, but this is the big error here. Recursion error, maximum recursion depth exceeded in comparisons. Apparently Python allows for like 1,000 depth. Like basically recursion is you take a paper towel and you fold it and then you fold it again and again and again and again. And then as you leave all this recursion you've been doing, you unfold it back out. I guess that's the kind of simplest explanation I can give you. But Python by default allows 1,000. So if I want more, I have to tell it more. I'm not going to do that, but I believe it is, we're going to have to import SYS, and it's SYS like recursion limit Python. Set recursion limit, there it is. So if we want to get around that, and if you run into that issue, then we will have to add a little extra line up here. Of course, I'm dealing with a really unreasonable sized array, but for my class, I think I've lowered the number a bit so we don't have that issue, but S dot, I believe it's set recursion limit. And then the number I put in parentheses is the limit that it's going to be set to. So haven't played with it a huge amount, but 1,000 seems to be the default. I'm just going to say 2,000 and see what happens. We will run it. Oh, yeah, you don't like, oh, it's not S dot set recursion limit, but just set recursion limit. And you don't like set recursion limit. Let me see here. If I can see a good example. Oh, sys, that's right. There's supposed to be something there. SYS dot set recursion limit. And I set it to double what it normally is. So in theory, that should allow us to do 2,000 instead of 1,000. So we'll wait just a moment or two. We're not going to wait like 3 minutes or something for this to try to finish, but I think I'll give it 30 seconds or something. But if it reaches the recursion limit that's allowed, then it will, of course, crash and give that same error. If I manage to actually set it up right, then I should be able to sort this whole thing without crashing. It sorted 5 million earlier. Apparently, that's close to the limit of 1,000, I guess. So I would think double should be enough for this, but there's only one way to find out. Well, while that's going, let's review the code that we've got here. I've had to go back and forth and adjust a few things. Sorry about that. But our code, as of right now, from start to finish of our sorter. We have our imports for timer, random, the sys for that set recursion limit. I have a class sorter, and I have my kind of constructor here. We go down a little further, I have my functions. The start of the timer, the end of the timer. Go down a little further, I have a random fill. So this randomly fills my array with 0 to 10,000. I could adjust that number if I need to, depending on how big the array is. For something like 10 million, obviously, we're going to have like a bunch of duplicates, but it still kind of gets the point across. Bubble sort is set, and of course I had to add the self. Insertion sort, same. Selection sort, along with the self. Shell sort, which you'll see here. And merge sort are both part of merge sort. You'll see I've got all my code here. And then, of course, the actual thing that runs, merge sort. And then I have partition, which is part of quick sort. And the actual quick sort. Right here. And then I added in tim sort, which is what the built-in Python sort's for. We set the recursion limit a little higher. We doubled it, actually. I created the sorter. I created an empty array and filled it with whatever numbers I need. And then we have a start of our timer, whatever sort we're using, and then the end of the timer. And then I just printed a few little spaces so we can see what's going on. And this is me running that main. Now, I've probably said this plenty of times, but you'll note at the end of each of these things, I usually put a little comment in this, in that. And the reason for that, as I explained like all my early programming videos and classes, is it keeps things better organized for me. If you're doing a Java, C++, C#, you're going to have a brace or something here, like that, an ending brace. Well, I don't have that in Python, so, I mean, I could probably put it there, I guess, but since I don't have that, I use a little comment here. And even in Java and C#, I still use a comment at the end of those braces. So I can clearly see that between here and here, that's everything there should be tabbed over. It makes it a little bit easier to read. And the same is true here. Everything's tabbed over, and then you get here, that's the end of that, which means I can start the next line lined up with this. And it looks like we may just have to stop it or pause until it finishes. But that's essentially why I do the things that I do. So here's what we're going to do. Since my code has not completely run yet, hasn't crashed either, I'm going to go ahead and pause. And I'll just turn it back on when this finishes so you can see the result. And we're back. And after 572 seconds, almost a full 10 minutes, this thing sorted. So, as you can see, it sorted. And I'm not going to print the 10 million numbers on the screen. We know it sorted on the smaller range. It should still sort on the bigger range. But it took significantly longer. So, that is your sorting. So, if you have any questions or any concerns or comments, just let me know. I apologize for the few mistakes bouncing back, but I usually prefer to kind of leave those types of moments in here because, one, everyone's going to make mistakes. It doesn't matter how good you are. You're going to, oh, I typed in the wrong letter here. I didn't capitalize this. Oh, I forgot to put this thing in here. It lets you see mistakes. You can learn far more from mistakes than you can from getting it right on the first time. So I'll leave all those in just so you can see everything. And maybe it'll help you if you run into the same mistake at some point. But there you go. There is your now one program where we can sort everything. All right, if you have any questions, let me know.